What? Why am I default on here? That's weird.
What's up?
Howdy, howdy.
How's your day?
It's going. It's been a good day actually. I feel like most days are productive. I feel like today's been extra productive.
Awesome. Why so?
I just got some things done. I kind of been dancing around, not sure what to do, not super confident on it, but I just dove into it, got it done, and it came out great. I feel like.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. What
Congrats.
about you? You recovering from your trip all right?
Recovered. Recovered.
Recovered.
I don't drink. So like weddings and that stuff, I just am there to dance. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it was fun. It was really fun. But
Should have seen my kid at our wedding. He was like cutting the freaking rug. I mean, he
really,
danced his little heart out. It was fun.
hey, that's awesome. Let me put Alan away so he's not barking. Come here.
Alan's not part of the meeting.
No, not today.
Hi, Renee.
Hey, how are y'all?
All right, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How are things going in your world today?
Well, I've been working on my database. Ugh.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, I can't just seem to get things going. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's slow in our area.
Yeah, I mean, it's been slow. I find stuff's picking up a little bit right now with the rates coming around slightly. It seems to be getting a few more people off the fence
Yeah,
for sure. I've seen you in a couple of Ray's masterminds. Where are you based out of?
Mississippi, Central
Oh, okay.
Mississippi. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I'm from Florida originally.
Oh, okay. So where are you now?
I'm in Colorado.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, I was 23 years down in Florida, and it's too hot and too humid. And the one thing I miss is the ocean. I will say I do miss that.
I have a friend that's been down there, and that's one thing she's been missing is the beach, the water.
Yeah, there's no replacement for it. You can go to a lake with a little sandy beach on it. It's just not the same as having the
Mm-mm.
salt water and the fresh sea air. It's just different. It's its own thing for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I don't like the humidity here as is probably almost as bad as Florida. So it's been like
Yeah,
95 with 100 and 7 to 10 heat index for a
yeah.
while.
I remember plenty of 120-degree days out there. You get out by 8 o'clock, you're drenched in sweat, just
Oh
covered
yeah.
with it.
I went to a realtor open house yesterday and there were like 10 new construction listings and I went to 8 of them. And by the time I was out, it was like I was just drenched. I had to come home and take a shower.
Yeah, got to bring a change of clothes and prep.
That's right.
Right on. Howdy, Ray.
What's happening, peeps? We're talking about the humidity in Mississippi.
Yes.
Yeah, I was telling her I'm from Florida, so I can definitely relate there because I was there for 23 years. I've been through it.
Cool. Dano Leary,
Hey,
tell us about the summit. What'd you think?
thought it was amazing. Definitely took in a lot of information. Still trying to shuffle through it all, get organized. I mean, like you said, it's like drinking out of a fire hose. So taking it all in as much as I can, but gonna focus on one or two things at a time. Don't overwhelm myself.
Miss Grimes, you concur?
For sure. I've been finally got all my permissions on my Lofty to work on my database. So that's what I've been trying to do. But ugh, trying to decide what to implement. That's the deal. Thank goodness I'm having my coaching call tomorrow.
So we can get your focus narrowed down instead of chasing too many things. But it's easy to do right after the summit.
Right. Oh, I enjoyed it.
Linda, how was the virtual summit?
was good. It's better than not attending at all. So I actually had some listing appointment and all that. So I missed, but I decided on Friday to buy it. So I will have it to listen to it again, which is a good thing. But a lot of great information, and just like the colleagues here said, you know, the database, the importance of contacting. I know about the sphere, but when they talked about also about the past leads, you know, that we forget. So I want to look at all that and implement more, better newsletter, better touch. And you also had given us some information. Giving me information. I just need to implement it.
Good. Miss Cosby, how was your virtual event?
It was good. I learn better like that. I can follow along and like not get distracted by, you know, the person over off in some other row. So yeah, took away a bunch of different things, and I'm trying to figure out which two things I'm going to actually work on.
There you go.
There you
Too
go.
many things to do, right?
Yeah.
Who else? Anybody else? I think that's everybody. Gladys was there live. Are you driving, Gladys?
I am driving, just dropped off my child at school for a game and a meeting.
Well,
So
we
headed
can't
back
see
home.
your wonderful face, but tell us about your experience and your connections and stuff that you made.
Oh, I absolutely loved it, and I love being able to meet the rest of the team in person, or those who were there, especially the local ones. But yes, I took out is a lot of information, and noted my 3 top things that I'm going to implement, and working on that, and have partner with Paul as accountability partner on some things. So it's great. We're going to have an amazing fourth quarter. That's all I can say.
You know, that just makes me want to cry. I love it. Gladys and so we went to dinner. Dan was there, right? Gladys, Paul, Trent showed up from the social realtor guy that was on our calls last couple times. He bought us some margaritas. We went to that original margarita machine place. We had a great time, right, Dan? Really fun. So if you guys can make it next year, I highly recommend. But Gladys and Vonda and Paul, they've kind of starting a little mastermind thing going, and some accountability partnerships, and that's what it's all about. You guys have all heard me say it so many times, right? You're going to learn a lot from your coach, hopefully, but you will learn so much more by digging in and getting involved in the groups and masterminding. Think and Grow Rich. Mastermind principles. Cool. Well, so we got a lot of people on today. That's awesome. Mary, I know we were going to do get the energy going. I did my 20 jumping jacks before the call, but I know you like that that little energy thing. Why don't you lead us off? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm good actually. Thanks. I got my steps in already today.
All right, good. So going to be a fun call today. I'm excited. I ran into my good buddy from high school, John Duerler. You guys have seen the emails and stuff I've been posting, but we played football together. Big, huge Texas 5A high school football team. He was a year older than I am. He's about 6'5" or so, and he's probably 250 pounds back then, and in high school, maybe more than that. He's a big guy. He's a year older than me, but we played on the varsity football team together. And he went and played for a junior college in Texas after high school. But we were comparing stories. We were both super immature. We failed everything in college right after high school. But then he went to the Navy, and I went in the Marine Corps. And when he got out, he was stationed in Long Beach, California, and became an actor. He is a real live working actor, and he's got some great stories. I'm so proud of him. When I look at his IMDb page and stuff, and all the things he's been in, and the experiences he's had, I've And I can't tell you, probably 5 or 6 times I've just been watching TV and all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, there's John, on some commercial or some little sitcom or something, just a random small little part, but I recognize him. I was watching the Super Bowl like 5 years ago, and I went to turn around and go into the kitchen or something. And I looked back at the TV, and he was in a big and tall man's clothing commercial, right? Super Bowl halftime. It was great. He was standing on top of this platform, like dancing like this. It was so funny. But when you meet him, you'll see his personality and stuff. But, I cannot believe he doesn't do more video. He does some video, but you would think that would be right up his alley, right? He's so natural in front of the camera. But anyway, so that'll be fun. So he's got a geofarm there in LA now. He's a working actor, and he got a geofarm stuff that he's dominating in his neighborhood. So I said, why don't you come on and talk to the Mastermind group? He said, I'd love to. It'd be great. So if you guys have any referrals to send to LA, I don't have any coaching clients right now in the LA area. So he'd be a good one to send to. So keep him on your mind. But also got Mr. Ryan Lux on here today. I thought I have this conversation so many times with my coaching clients about Zillow lead conversion. Ashley and I've had this great conversation, and her conversions have kind of gone way up since then, I think, right? You got like 13 listings now, Ashley. What? How many are you up to, girl?
You caught me off guard. Honestly, I don't know. I have a new one going up today.
So many she can't count. No, just kidding.
No.
But anyway, I thought, I could keep having this conversation about online lead conversion and the best way to do it. I used to do it wrong. I thought I was smart and training my team. But anyway, I thought I'd have Ryan come on here. He's one of our top converting agents on our team here in Colorado, and thought I'd have him talk about it so all the rest of you can benefit. So it's not just coming from me, dad, who knows nothing, right? You can hear it from other people who are doing it at a high level. So anyway, the guys, this is Ryan Lux. He's also a Marine, by the way.
Hey guys. So yeah, my name's Ryan. Thank you, Ray, for letting me speak right now. So Ray came to me yesterday and was like, hey, can you talk about kind of ALM? I'm not sure how many of you actually know what ALM is, but it's appointment, location, motivation. And so I've been on Zillow now for 3 years, but when Zillow originally came to us and was like, hey, this is the script you use, they wanted us to really answer that phone call, set the appointment, say, and kind of if we role play this, it'd honestly I think would be better. So Ray, if you want to kind of role play this with me, if you want to be the client.
Okay. So you're gonna call me, all right?
Yeah. So it's Zillow's now connecting you to your local representative. And I go, hey, is this Ray?
This is Ray.
Hey Ray, this is Ryan. I'm your Zillow Select agent. I see you're interested in 123 Main Street. Is that correct?
123 Main Street. Yeah. Are you the listing agent?
No, I'm not the listing agent. I'm who Zillow actually hires to represent you on the buy side. I like to call myself kind of a guardian angel. So I'm just here making sure that you're protected on the buy side and you're not getting taken advantage of on the list side.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to see that property. Can I see that at 2:00?
Yeah, perfect. I'll go ahead and schedule that showing for today at 2. While you were on Zillow, were there any other homes that you might want to go check out?
I didn't notice any, just that one that really caught my eye.
Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead and just see that one. If you do see any other ones that you want to go check out, I'll go ahead and shoot you over all of my contact info. So that'll come in. Once again, my name's Ryan. They'll come in from my phone number and we'll go from there.
All right. I like that one because it had a big backyard. I have a dog.
Perfect. Yeah. What type of dog do you have?
A lab.
A lab. Awesome. Black lab, chocolate lab.
No, it was white.
A white lab, yellow lab.
I guess, but he's kind of
Oh
white.
my gosh, that is awesome, Ray. Well, I can't wait to meet your lab and check out this yard and see if it's perfect for your dog.
Okay, cool. So I'll just meet you there.
Yep. We will meet at the house and we'll go from there.
All right, cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Ray.
All right, then what happens?
So appointment, you set the appointment, you find out kind of their motivation. And I really don't go too deep into like their motivation, I really like to leave that to in person, right? Because once we're seeing the house, that's, hey, what do you like about this house? What don't you like about this house? Where do you currently live? Your kids, you know, kind of that, well, you know, you're finding out what they're into, and you're learning about them, and you can kind of show your personality then. And really that motivation too comes in of, you know, Ray kind of gave it to me. It was like, hey, I like this big backyard. Awesome. Why do you like it? And so it's really just like hit the appointment hard. And I don't like to chatty Cathy it. Just set the appointment, get off the phone. We can find out more information after, you know. And you can also use that for setting normal appointments too. Whether it's circle dialing, cold calling, whatever it is, set that appointment, get off the phone, find out more when you're face to face. People want to talk about themselves face to face. They don't want to talk to you over the phone. And so like I like to have those conversations then, not over the phone necessarily.
So you don't try to establish rapport and keep them on the phone for 30 minutes or that stuff?
No, I'm not a big phone guy. I like to be in person with people and really let my personality show, and really find out who they are. And, you know, I'm okay with having a 2-hour conversation as long as it's in person. So yeah, no, I set that appointment. Cool. I'll see you then, and go from there.
What did anybody, any questions of Ryan, and what did you notice about the call? Anyone?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Ryan, with the new rules, now we have to sign a buyer agency agreement before showing the house. You don't bring it up on the phone call. You wait until you're gonna be in front of the property to have it signed. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I will wait before. So I like to do what's called a driveway presentation. So hey, even though I'm not your agent yet, I will be working as your agent. In that driveway presentation, I actually print it out off the CTME. I print out the doc and just kind of go over it with them. Hey, I'll be acting as a transaction coordinator. Yeah, Ray has one. And I'll show them that at least in the state of Colorado, we don't have to have them to sign it. And I know in other places it's different. They just need to acknowledge it. So for us, I just show them, they acknowledge it. I take a photo of them holding it, and then I'm good. But I know in other states it's different. But I would just say, like, in your state, talk to your managing broker. I don't want to give like any like false information, but that's what I do. I have that conversation in person. I think it goes down smoother when it's in person rather than over the phone. I think over the phone, people can kind of get, one, they're not really paying attention to you, and you don't have their full undivided attention. In person, you do, right? Because people don't want to be rude. People would rather be rude on the phone than in person. So that's kind of where I go.
Thank you.
Of course.
So what's the ALM stand for again, Ryan?
Appointment, location, motivation.
So Zillow wants us to give them what they want. They're on Zillow because they want to see a house. They don't care about who you are. They don't care your name, but they wanted to go see that house. That's the number one thing. And then location, they want you to ask, what is that the only location you're looking in?
Yeah, what about this location caught your eye? They want you to go a little deeper into it, of, you know, do you live in the area? Why do you like this area? Is it schools? What is it? And then find out their motivation of, you know, oh, are you a first-time home buyer? Is this the first house you're purchasing? Is this, you know, is this a second house, a vacation rental? What is this?
Not too much of that on the phone, though, right? I mean,
not really too much of that.
Get it quickly and then get there.
Yeah, I like to ask, like, what about this house caught your eye? Because then you can kind of hit two stones with one bird.
Motivation and location.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also like to say, like, hey, while you're searching on Zillow, were there any other homes that popped up that you might want to go check out? Because then we can see multiple houses.
Yeah. Sometimes they think you're the listing agent, or
Mhm.
and you can only show them that one house, and then they gotta request again for another one.
Yeah,
So,
to get over that, and it really depends if the person on the other line is like, you can kind of tell if they want to, if they think you're the listing agent, or if they want to see multiple houses. So if they want to see multiple houses, you can say like, hey, like I'm licensed in the state of Colorado. I can help you with any homes. It's not just this one.
Quick question.
Jacob,
If
you got a question?
yeah. If we because I know they like grade your calls essentially. I'm not sure if it's AI or whatnot, but if we don't really, because I like the way you did it better. Establish that motivation kind of in person. But does it grade us poorly if we don't hit motivation hard on that phone call? And in turn, give us less leads?
Yes and no. So Zillow recently now is like grading us a lot harder than they used to. And so yes, and so that's why I'm saying like follow the ALM, ask like one little question, or kind of hit two, ask the, what about this house caught your eye? And then you can kind of find out more and see if that person's going to talk. And if that person talks, talk to them for a little bit, hang up the phone, set the appointment. Don't spoil your showing, because I like to at least have the showing to like learn about this person and like really build my rapport and like show that I'm the area expert. And so ask that one question, get off. They will grade you poorly if you don't follow the ALM. And I originally had this problem really bad, and then I had to go back early on and learn it. And so, yeah, they will grade you poorly if you don't hit the ALM.
We definitely get graded on it. I think it's
Yeah.
What other questions you guys have? Do you think this would work for Realtor.com too? Right?
Completely. Yeah, so I use it. I'm not sure if people were using Ojo or like Movado leads. I was using it the same language that Zillow taught me for those leads, and it worked flawlessly. I use it for if someone just randomly calls me, I'll just go into it naturally. So I really use it kind of as an outline. I'm not a super big script person, and this is the one script I have memorized. So I use it a lot, and it seems to benefit pretty well. Just asking the right questions, and learning about people.
What other questions you guys have for him? Well, that can't be all. Ryan, how many Zillow leads do you think have you closed?
Total?
Yeah.
Close to 50. Maybe a little more.
It's gonna be my guess too.
And is that relative to how much you pay for? Like, right? Like close a lot of leads, pay for a lot of leads, right?
We're flex here, so it's a little different, right? We don't pay for impressions here.
Okay.
It's 100% relevant in every market. I mean, my team in Dallas, right? I was teaching them wrong, because I would have them go out and go on a lead. They'd get a lead and they'd go on an appointment. They would drive way across town, and they would come back and say, Ray, those leads sucked. They weren't qualified. Their credit's terrible. And so we started teaching them to pre-qualify on the phone and stuff. And Zillow, absolutely do not do it. I highly recommend you buy zip codes close to where you are, so you're not having to drive a long way. But don't pre-qualify them. Just go meet them. You will convert better if you just do that. There's a reason they reached out. They may not be ready today, but it might be 3 months from now or 6 months from now. But you need to get in front of them and be your glorious selves and outgoing personalities that you all are. Get them to like you and love you, and you will convert them. But trying to pre-qualify them, that puts the block, builds the wall, and they want to run. You start asking stuff about financing.
Would you guys share? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Would you guys share the drip campaign that you use for these Zillow lead?
So I actually I actually don't use a drip campaign.
You don't? Okay.
No, this is like really bad of me, but what I do is I hand pick each house for all of my clients. So I have an hour a day dedicated to every single person that's active, and that kind of goes into Ray's top 150, which I'm not sure if you guys know that,
Mhm.
but yeah, so in the top 150, so like my most active people, I will spend an hour a day putting the list together, sending them over, and everyone else, I'll just call them once a month and just maybe send hey, I came across this house, or I'll set them up on the investor special. I love like the investment side of real estate, so I'm always like throwing people, hey, here's a flip, here's a long-term hold. And so like I'll send that stuff out. But drip campaigns, not that's I need to get better at it.
No, don't. Drip campaigns suck. They do more harm than good. I truly believe the best reason to reach out to leads is about a specific property. Find something
Yep.
that just hit the market and say, hey, have you seen this one? Send them a text, send them an email, voicemail, whatever. Just get excited about it and call them for a specific property. 100% best way. Don't people unsubscribe from drips? Everybody knows when they're being dripped on. I do, and I unsubscribe. James, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, no, I just like what Ryan said there. I think that first initial phone call, what we were talking about, if you're trying to do too much, like pre-qualify, talk them through a buyer broker agreement, like give all this information, background, whatever, like you said, I think they called you for a purpose. You're going to fulfill that purpose and show them the property. And I think, details can come after that. But I think that's a really good point to keep it. Like for me, like I tend to start telling my life story. Like, they don't want to hear that. If you keep it short and crisp, I think, and then come out with the punchy stuff when you see that first house. I think that's a great formula. So yeah, I appreciate that.
So good, thanks, James. So ALM, I mentioned, so that's the three scripts that Zillow wants us to follow. But Ryan, talk about the three conversations. Driveway.
So there's the driveway conversation, which I kind of touched on, which is, hey, I'm not your agent yet. I will be acting as if I am your agent. If there's anything anything you tell me will be held confidential. It's also 2024. Sellers have Rings, Alexas, cameras in the house. Let's not say anything like, hey, this house is awesome, I need 50,000 more, or hey, this house is a POS. Let's keep those conversations outside. And then if you have any questions, let me know. I just show them the house. I'm not one that's like, welcome to the kitchen. This is, the patio. Like, just let them kind of explore it. And I just like talk to them as normal. And then once they've seen the house, I kind of circle back to the kitchen island, and I have the kitchen island conversation, which is, hey, are you guys paying cash, or are you guys going to finance this? And in that conversation, typically people will say finance, some people say cash. So if they're going to finance it, I like to give them options. So just kind of set them up with multiple lenders, see which one makes the most sense. I don't really like to push people because I don't like being salesy. I just like being like, hey, here are options for you. I'm here to help. And then have 3 different lenders, 2 different lenders reach out to them. Never have them reach out to the lender. And then see what they're pre-approved for. And then in that meantime, we're still searching for houses. We're still moving forward, and kind of in the funnel, out of the funnel, meaning, is this person going to transact in the next 3 months, or is this person going to be 6 to 12 months out? And that gives me kind of a good idea of where that person is at that kitchen island conversation.
So so he's being modest and skipping some strokes there, but you get there 5 to 10 minutes early, go in and flip on all the lights and everything, right? And then meet them out at the driveway with a handshake, and kind of start the rapport going there. But he hit most of the big points, and then let them look around, meet at the island. That's where I like to go through we have this ready, set, buy. This is our buyer presentation, kind of go through that, right? Show them some comps. just usually the spreadsheet view or whatever you want to show, and to kind of walk them through the timeline of the process. That's usually, I'm telling you, the timeline is the biggest key, in my opinion. People just kind of get, wow, thank you, because they're all stressed. They don't know. It's been a long time, or it's their first time, and they don't remember. When do I have to write a check? Am I going to lose that money? All those kind of. Then what about the tailgate conversation?
The tailgate conversation.
Yeah, it's just kind of what's next.
Oh, yeah. So like ending the conversation, the next steps are, I always just kind of tell them, hey, these are the next steps. This is what I'm going to do. And then I follow up on that. And then you go do it and you set the next appointment. The next steps are bam.
Never leave without a next step. Never leave just letting, separating and going home. Hey, I'm going to go in. I'm going to set you up on them. I'm going to find you some more big properties with a big yard for that dog, whatever. Or I'm going to send you over the seller's property disclosure notice, and I'll call the other agent and ask those questions that we talked about. I'll find out if that skylight was repaired recently, whatever.
Yeah. And one thing I like to say too is if I don't know the answer to something, hey, let me talk to the sellers and I'll get back to you on that. And so that gives me something else to follow up on. The next steps are, I'll find this out. I'll set you up with some lenders. I'll put together a home search, whatever the next steps are.
Come on, you guys got an expert here. What's your questions? Renee, Mary, I see you writing like crazy, and I know you and I have talked about this so many times, but now it's coming from an expert. You're taking notes.
Definitely, Ryan is the expert. It makes sense. I like that appointment. I like the ALM. I think it's funny you said that. I don't actually do scripts either, but this is actually one that I'll remember. And you're right about, and I think Jim said that as well. They just want to see the house. They don't want to have a big qualification conversation on the first go. Just make the appointments and then get to know them, do the thing. And I think that's with Zillow, but I also think that's with anybody who pops out of any of your, like an open house person or whatever the case is.
Yeah, I think the more simple it is, the easier it is for all of us, Yeah, exactly.
You might not want to work with them.
You gotta keep it simple. ALM is probably the easiest script to know, and it works every single time. It works. Yeah.
Good stuff. Luca, what's up with you, man? Another one of our top agents.
What's going on, Ray?
Tell me about your experience lately.
It's been good. I know you wanted me to talk about top 150 a little bit.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to say just about what Ryan's saying, because I do a lot of Zillow too, and the qualifying phone call. I mean, I think the goal with any lead that you talk to is to meet them in person. I've had multiple leads that are not qualified to buy a house that I talk to, but then their dad is, or their brother, or they are with some creative financing or something, And so I think that's also why it's important. Just meet them in person, and talk to them. So that's why it's better not to qualify them. But I think with the top 150, me and Ray were talking the other day, and his system has just worked really well for me, especially with past clients, private clients. We're not supposed to say past clients, clients for life. But it's worked really well for me just for kind of nonchalant reasons for them to hear from me. And they're kind of based around a couple of things, but you really just get to call them, kind of once a quarter. You set up automatic searches in their neighborhood. I title them hoods. And then I go check it out once every day, just see what pops up. Any new listing, I'll send it. I'll just copy the address and send it from my phone on my personal number and just say, hey, what's up, guys? This house just went on the market, 2 blocks away from you. It's a little bit bigger than yours. What do you think or whatever? And sometimes they respond and sometimes they don't, but it's one way they hear from me. And I've been doing it for about 2 months now. And I was telling Ray, I just got 2 calls this week to go over and do a listing appointment at one of the dads of one of the deals I had this week because I comment on all their social medias. I comment on all their stories. I give them a call once a quarter. I shoot them those texts. I send them happy birthday. It's kind of just basic realtor stuff, but Ray's Top 150 is a good blueprint for how to do it in an easy manner and how to structure it. And then they're not annoyed with you when you're constantly reaching out and you don't have to ask for referrals, which is always uncomfortable for everyone to do. So
Do you use Excel or do you use a like KV Core?
So Ray actually has it in our CRM setup.
Uh-huh.
So we just have tasks that will pop up on the daily and it'll say, hey, it's this person's birthday, or, you know, these are the 10 people you need to call this week, whatever it is, but it's already pre-set up in our CRM. So it's pretty easy.
Oh, cool. Love it. You know, Jacob, he and I just started talking about that today, about the top 150. But all right, so Mr. Duerler is on the phone, our the man of the hour, our guy.
Oh, the half hour.
Half hour, yeah. I've been building you up the whole time before you got on. No, I did a little bit there, but we've been talking about some online lead conversion with some of the people here on my team in Colorado and Zillow, converting online leads, any type of online leads really. But again, this is Mr. John Duerler from Beaumont, Texas, 20 minutes from the Louisiana border. We're just a couple of good old boy rednecks from Southeast Texas. I'm sure you'll hear his twang come out, but you don't hear mine, right?
Not at all.
Well,
yeah. Hey guys, I'm John Duerler. I call him Bubba. That was his old name, was Bubba. That's how I know him. So yeah, to underscore the redneck, Bubba. I am in the market of Los Angeles. I'll give you a little bit of background about me. I played football, went to college, then was tired of football, went into the Navy. Went into the Navy, then was stationed in Chicago, and then sent out to Long Beach. Went back to college in Long Beach. Real quick, this other side of what I do, and I don't know if Bubba told you about it, but I got into acting. It was a fluke. It was me going to college and I had to write a paper on observation. My buddy bet me $20 to go and audition, and I used to sing in the church choir so I can carry a tune. I ended up doing that, and it morphed into an amazing acting career that I had. But in any career, especially acting, is not consistent. And so you have people that have been in shows for 8 years and then they're broke. They're broke. I moved to Hollywood, got out of the Navy, moved to Hollywood, pursued the career of acting, but I was an apartment manager. The guy who bought this 20-unit building in Hollywood is the perfect pool in the middle, palm trees, finger in the sky. And I was a manager then. That's what I learned about real estate. And I learned about, creating wealth for this other guy. And I was killing it with commercials. So I started buying up duplexes and fourplexes in LA, in Silver Lake, especially. I don't know if you know LA at all, but that has been an up and coming area towards downtown for 30 years. And then Highland Park, I bought over there. But I was still managing the apartment building, living for free, and learning all about real estate. And then I started training other managers to manage his other properties. Well, I was making a great living in acting, but then strikes happen. Different things start to happen. So the consistency wasn't there. I got married at that time, and then my wife at the time suggested that she goes, you should get your real estate license because you already do this other stuff. And I did. And I started, I was managing my rental properties. And this was 24 years ago when I bought them. I bought them at $280,000 in LA, and now they're worth 1.5 million. So these were great investments. So that's me on CSI. So what I ended up doing was that, and I murdered this girl. So that's me. I'm lying to her. I'm lying to her that it wasn't me. And then the great thing about this is normally you have stunt drivers that drive. So this is me cussing her out. She almost hit my fat ass. And then she takes off. So I I guess the next thing, oh, okay, this is a different one. But anyway, so what I ended up doing was I invested, but then I started in the real estate of sales. Now, when I got my license, I live here in Hancock Park. Hancock Park, is anybody close to LA? Anybody in California? Raise your hand if you're in California. So, okay, no, all right. So, so congratulations. Anyway, so I bought into this neighborhood of Hancock Park. Hancock Park is about 15 minutes west of downtown LA. We're maybe 5 minutes south of Hollywood, and then we're probably 20 minutes east of Beverly Hills. So LA is very compact. Usually people just hang out in their territories or their farms in their neighborhoods. Well, we moved into, this is the 7th most expensive neighborhood in all of the United States. So I sold some properties in order just to get on the dance floor over here. And then I decided I'm going to go ahead and sell houses here. Now we have, if you've ever heard of Melrose, Melrose down to Wilshire is the neighborhood north and south. And we have anywhere from 2-bedroom homes, 1 baths. They come down to 3 2s. They come down to 4 3s. And then they keep going down. Then they, those are 1 levels. Then they get 2-story, 4, 6 bedrooms, 12-bedroom mansions. So we have mansions that go from mansion down to a smaller property. That's me in Castaway. Yeah, that's when I had hair.
I'm just so proud of him. If you guys can't tell, so
yeah. Thank you, Bubba. So yeah, there's your phone.
3 days, right, next to Tom Hanks to shoot this. You said.
Yeah, that was 3 days with that's Tom Hanks, and I played and Helen Hunt's over here on the other side, right. And I was Helen's cousin, and we shot that for 3 days, and then we were shooting over. I forgot where it was, but like Donnie and Marie Osmond had their show back in the day. This was, I think, in the 90s or early 2000. But anyway, coming into Hancock Park was Beverly Hills before Beverly Hills was developed. These homes were built in the 1900s. Beautiful architecture, amazing, great stuff. Well, I come in and I joined Keller Williams to start out in the neighborhood, and my team leader said, "Look, man, you're an outgoing guy. You should door knock." And that's what I started doing. Nobody knew who I was. Coldwell Banker had all the blue hairs, and they had dominated. They had a dynasty here running this neighborhood. And I guess the point of I'm coming on to you guys is to how are you going to take over a neighborhood from somebody that's been in the business for 30 and 60 years? There's one woman, her mom was in it before, then she got it. They've been in it for 60 years. And actually, I bought my house from her. And I even said, "Are you guys hiring over at Coldwell Banker? I just got my license." She goes, "Oh, go to Keller Williams. You'll learn more." She was very nice. Well, anyway, she was the #1 agent. And I started door knocking. But then again, if you're going to take over a neighborhood, bring something to them that is not saying how great you are, how many houses you have sold. What I ended up doing is I created the Windsor Whistler. Okay, this is a monthly periodical that goes to 5,000 doors. And about these homes, I wrote about the history of these homes. This is actually the Warner Brothers home. Harry Warner in 1927 built this home in 1925, and then he sold the house 2 years after in order to finance the first talkie, meaning the first talkie movie, which was the Jazz Singer. So this home, I actually, I got this from a letter campaign, and the man had died. The trust called me back, and they said, he loved my letter, but he goes, "Yeah, I see these things in the neighborhood. You're that guy." I go, "Yeah, I'm that guy that does this." So to take over and knock someone off the perch, I door knocked, but then I also gave something of value, and they love this. I have followings that do this. So you can go on my website, hancockhomes.com, and you can pull this up and you can see all the articles. And I started bringing this, and then when I door knock, you know, people are very territorial. They don't want people knocking on their door. And there's no big gates out here because we're in an HPOS, which is a historic preservation overlay zone, meaning you got to keep the front of the houses the same as they were in the 20s. You can't come in, you can't come do that bullshit new build that looks like shit and mess up our neighborhood. So I was able to come in, door knock, and get up to the door. And then, you know, people that were, you know, apprehensive, I said, hey, do you get my Windsor Whistler? And man, it was like, oh, you're that guy. And then 3 years after I came into this neighborhood, I was number one in selling in this neighborhood. Now it fluctuates, it goes back and forth. I don't stay at number one, it comes off and, you know, it flows. But right now we're 50% down on inventory. People are not wanting to sell their house because they're still paying 2.5%. And especially the ones that are downsizing. I just sent a letter campaign out for anybody over 70 that lives in a 2-story house because they're going to want to go down to a 1 level. Well, in my neighborhood, we've got the 1 levels, we got the 2 levels. So I'm doing deals off market. 30% of my deals are off market because I've door knocked, and I'm just matching people together. So after the years, I was able to do that. Anybody have any questions so far?
Yeah, can I break that down real quick? So you're door knocking and so that they're not pissed at you, right? You're giving them something of value in your hand right there at the door. And
yeah,
you're researching these unique properties and getting the history, and you're putting content about those specific houses. So that would be great for you. Several of you here are in some really old historical areas, right? Renee, Mary, Linda, I know you got some old properties and things where you are. There's probably something similar, like a lot of history there. That's a great idea.
And if you're not in that, find something. Just find something. If you're in like cookie cutter homes that were built in the 80s, you know, that don't have much, you know, to it, but find something in the community in order to do that. And again, you know, the other thing, which I haven't done, but you know, the history, the writing of this, it's just, I mean, it's just great. Like, you know, because it's Hollywood and people love that. And then, you know, I'm going to make this into a YouTube show. It's going to be a YouTube show where I go and talk about the homes. But again, it doesn't have to be the house. It can be your community. But I guess the point of what, and look, guys, if by a raise of hands, who door knocks here?
Come on. Yeah, there you go, Adrian.
One.
No, there's some others on here that are hidden right now. I know they've all door knocked.
Well, if you're door knocking, listen, I get nervous. You get nervous before you get up to the door. It's like, oh no, you know, I'm not going to do it. I'll think of something not to do. But let me tell you, man, for me, it gets me out of the office, and I love to just talk. And I talk, man, it's so crazy. I door knocked a property, and they go, oh, come on inside. I stayed there for an hour just talking to these people because no, they're not selling, but their friends are going to sell. And I've had referrals from that. And it's just getting to know and rocking out your community if you are going to do that and be, you know, be the king or the queen of the neighborhood, because it's really served me well, because they all know me now. They all know. And of course, it's coupled with my community events. I do shred events. I do shred events twice a year. The shred events are great because guess what? All my advertising just goes on to this. And I have my email campaign. So I'm sure I see a lot of young people here. A lot of it's all, you know, social media, but you can transition that stuff to social media, which I do. And then, you know, I have the emails that go out for that, but I also take pictures of the events itself. And then now I have maybe 300 or 400 people I just call. And I guess if anything, sometimes I feel small and not worthy when I'm calling someone. And I have to continue to tell myself, because Tom Ferry says there's 67,000 thoughts in your head every day. And most of that, thanks to my crazy parents, it was all negative shit. And so it's telling myself how great I am. I'm here for service. I'm, doing great. So I still have to up myself to do that in order to go door knocking, in order to make those phone calls and do all that. But it's great, but it's really coupled with just not door knocking, but it's also it is also sending something of help to the people, and that's how I've done it. And now, but get this, guys, we're 50% down on inventory. I started, and the other way, there was two pillars of how I started. One was the door knocking, but the other was the low hanging fruit. I would call expireds. And I killed it. When I was at Keller Williams, I had no office. You know where my office was? Because they have a big old, room you go into. I went to the janitor's closet. The janitor's closet had a big tub in there, and mops and all of that. And I it was a door, and it was right off the reception room. They're like, what are you doing? I go, this is my new office. So I put scripts up, I put a mirror up, and man, I started hitting the expireds. And my first year, I sold $6 million. My first year doing the expireds, coupled with getting in the neighborhood. And I was passing by, and get this, I just closed a deal today for 1.8 million. And I'm about to put their other house on the market for 2.8. This family, when I first started door knocking, I took an out of area open house. They didn't have the open house. They had an out of area in the valley who had the listing. And so I called her. I said, hey, can I hold your open house? She goes, yeah, I don't, it's too far for me to drive. I did my flyers, and this was my first day. And then I door knocked. I door knocked the block next to mine and the block I lived on. I met this man. I gave him the flyer. He came to the open house the next day. And he said, hey, will you come take a look at my other house on this street? I own 2 houses. So I went over there, looked at the house. And at that time, the house was, it was really in bad condition. It was a 2-story, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,000 square foot home. But needed everything. Today, my market is $1,000 a foot now, and that was at it's a $4 million, $5 million home now. But back then, we're talking 14 years ago when I started. And I put my sign up, and the house needed everything. And I got a phone call. And this man goes, hi, how much are you asking for that house? I live across the street. Or no. He said, how much are you asking for that? He didn't say anything who he was. I go, well, it's 1.2 million. He goes, oh, you're crazy. You're not going to get that. And he started insulting me. Well, guys, I was new, and I matched his energy. And I said, you're an idiot. You don't know what, I did that. And we both hung up on each other. And I thought, what am I doing? I go, I have to kiss ass to be in this business. So
your coach is Matt, right, Matthew?
I called him back. And I said, hey, have you ever had a bad day? He goes, well, yeah. I go, well, I apologize. I'm having that. I shouldn't have spoke to you. I'm so sorry. I don't even know. Are you an agent? Are you a buyer? How can I help you? And he started laughing. And he goes, oh my God, no one has ever did this to me. And guys, he was a very wealthy man. He's been in production. He's produced movies and all that. But I don't think he's ever had anybody talk back to him like that. Well, anyway, I did. I apologized. And I go, how can I help you? He goes, well, I want to buy it. Guys, I ended up double popping that deal. I got 3 deals out of that. I sold it to him. I represented the seller, the buyer. He redid it, and then I fixed it up again. And then he had another house for me to go and do. This family that I first door knocked, I have sold over probably, in the last 14 years, I've probably sold close to $30 million from that one family. And that was from that first door knock. And that guy, I got him from that man who gave me the chance. He gave me the first chance. I'd never sold a house before. I pulled in my team leader, but guess what? I planted the flag in the neighborhood. Now I had, what do you call it? I don't know. You had cachet or what have you. But that's how I started. It was more of just the door knock, getting to know them, and then, blowing this thing up. I left Keller Williams 3 years after that, started my own brokerage. As you can see here, I branded myself Hancock Homes. And another story, or do you have any questions that I could answer for anybody right now?
We got a couple of comments.
Oh, I'm not seeing those.
No, just for me. They're in my head. So is your coach Matthew Ferry, Tom's brother?
Huh?
Your coach is Matthew Ferry?
Patrick.
Pat Ferry, Patrick. So there's a funny video talking about matching the intensity. I think did Patrick shoot that video? I think he was like cold calling for sell by owners. He's telling this story where this guy said, man, I'm sick of all you damn agents calling me all the time. I've got 60 calls today. And he said, I just matched the guy's intensity. He said, you know what? I hate these freaking agents too. Think about me. I've got to deal with them every damn day.
Right.
And the guy started laughing.
You know,
getting the deal.
It's so funny. We're trained to match the tonality if you're on the phone, or we match the visual, because when you're talking to somebody and if they're going to list their home with you, they need to trust you. And that first part of the trust, if it's over the phone, it's great, because if you match their tonality, then you are standing with them as opposed against them. You're with them. And if you match it and you mirror them, that first 10 seconds or 30 seconds is key, especially when you're on the phone. And I just naturally did that. And I don't know why, but I did. But the more that I researched and other coaches were telling me, it is you match the tonality, or if you're standing in front of them. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". When I go up to the door, people open the door and they're a little intimidated. So I always step back. I step back or I step down like one step to be away from them. And but I mean, in any of that you're doing, or if you're talking or you're meeting or you're interviewing with a listing or the buyers, it's really matching the tonality of that, so they can trust you.
I think people with natural people skills probably do that naturally, and you don't even know it, right? That's like what you were doing, probably.
Well, yeah, and I've been in so many acting classes and stuff, and it's matching other people, mirroring what you see, and yeah, it's really cool. And I love the business, but I'm still doing, I'm still pursuing the acting, so I have about one foot in real estate and then 1 foot out of it. I wish I could commit 100%. I probably commit 70%, for my business. I was at 100, for many years, but now I'm kind of pulling back. But I can't pull back now because I have to double down, and I have to go back and get my ass in that mop room and get that mentality back, because, and I'm not above it. That's one thing. I'm the only guy who drives a truck here in Beverly Hills and Hancock Park. I'm the only guy that drives a truck. But for me, and I don't know, and I'd love to hear back from you guys, how long you've been in it, what's going on. But with us being 50% down on the inventory, people don't want to move. I have to widen my farm. And the only way to widen my farm and get instant results is jumping back into the expireds, because I did expireds for the first 3 to 4 years. And then I had my momentum going. And then guess what? I'm back at it again.
So what do you guys have questions about? Like Ashley is in a rural area with horse properties and things. John, any recommendations on how to hand over some piece of value, like if she was a door knocking area, or something that's unique and maybe not historic like yours.
No, I mean, look, if it's ranches and stuff, send them something about, if I don't know if it's ranching or if it's show horses or what, but figure out what that is. Shoot them a newsletter, for all the for all the ranches. I think that what area are you in with the ranches?
I'm in southeastern Oklahoma.
South?
And so it southeastern, it's south of I-40. So we're more into ranch top cutting, roping, barrel horses. Since ribbon.
Well, let me ask you this: how many ranches are there in that territory? Have you already set your farm up? How many ranches are there?
No, I have not set it up. I've just started working with geo farming with Ray. So
okay, so you're doing your okay. So you need to carve out where you want to go. How far do you want to drive? Okay, how far you want to drive? Pull title. Get how many farms there are. Find out how old the farms are. Find out if they have kids. Instant Checkmate is a great thing. I use Instant Checkmate. Go on it. You can find anybody's phone number. You can find their email. You can find where they live. But the great thing about Instant Checkmate is if you're dealing with 70-year-old, traditional generations that own farms and they want to keep it, that's great. But some of them, the kids, hate it. They've moved out of Oklahoma and they want to sell this farm. Or the guy next door wants to buy it. See, that's the great thing, especially with land. You're going to have people that are butted up to that land. You probably have 4 other owners that would love to take over that acreage. And so go out and talk to them. Just go and talk to them. And, I love where you are because it's simple, folks. It's simple. I don't mean simple as in stupid. I mean simple as in good, down to earth people that would appreciate you coming over, bringing donuts in the morning, doing something, and go and talk to them, because you're going to build the respect with these ranchers. You're going to build the respect. They're going to see that you're on it. And then they're going to just call you, hey, Gus is thinking about selling his. Well, go talk to Gus. But, and again, a lot of them talk, but again, you can be the matchmaker of different farming and ranching to that. But, just do your research. Did you barrel race? Did you do any of that?
No, I mean, I've been around it. My husband was a bronc rider in high school. We have a friend in Wyoming that was a professional. My sister-in-law barrel races. I mean, I have people all around me that partake in it. Some of them that show. So I even know some ranchers and stuff in Oklahoma City when I lived up there.
How about this, John, like coming up with
ancillary? Look at the ancillary businesses that are with that. Veterinarians. How many vets are around there? Vets are great, would be a great people to get to know, to refer, because they may, people are like, okay, I'm tired of the you'll hear that. Get a source, a lead source of people in your community. But I think it's exciting, because if you're not door knocking or anything with these ranchers, now again, you're going onto somebody's property who's very maybe protective of their property. But I think just driving and having the respect, or dropping a note off, hey, just want to know if you're if you ever thinking about selling. But do the research before you go there, because this is few and far between. This is not like me. It's easy. I just walk to the next house, next house, next house.
Yeah, I know.
But you're not going to be able to do that. But again, snail mail is good to introduce yourself and start a publication about horses in the community.
John, what about this? I have an idea. What about like if she came up with the top 100 ranches in Oklahoma report, something like that?
Or the most expensive ranches in Oklahoma. But what was happening there? What was happening to that territory 100 years ago? What was it? You know,
If I was a ranch, I would be interested in that report.
yeah,
sure.
it's a history thing. It's a history thing.
I think we have a guy from California that actually is under contract to buy one of our historical places, Kerr Mansion.
Really?
Yeah.
How many acres?
It's just 18, but I mean, this was one of the governor's houses a long time ago.
Oh, see, there you go. Write the story about the governor's house and send it to your farm. Send it to your farm and research the Google. Just Google it. Google the history of that and you know, go into Chat GPT, write me a story about this property and give them the specs of it and give them whatever information or whatever name was attached to it and have them write up the story.
That's awesome. That's great.
Because I didn't write my I had a young college kid that, you know, I hired as an assistant, and he was the one that did all my research for the stories of all of these, you know, old mansions and stuff. It was great. I mean, there was so much information there, and I didn't have AI back then, you know. So now you have that, and you know, just learn how to utilize AI to the nth degree to write your stuff for you, or at least, you know, do that. And then but I, you know, whatever magazines are there, but you know, talk to, I'm serious, I would talk to the veterinarians that are there, and whatever else, you know, because farmers are so self-sufficient, ranchers are self-sufficient, and they're all, you know, working on the ranch, doing a lot of things as opposed to hiring people to come in. But I think your veterinarians they definitely can't, you know, do that type of work. But that may be a good avenue for you. But I would definitely, you know, pull up some of these old houses or old ranches that are there. But you know what? It doesn't have to be in your area too. Use the whole state of Oklahoma. All of you are living in Oklahoma. So do some stories about history of, you know, Tulsa, or, you know, of what's your university there in Norman?
OU.
OU.
And there's OSU. They're rivals.
OSU's a rival. See, I played football at Tyler Junior College, and my quarterback was from Purcell, Oklahoma. So I went to Purcell, went to Norman. But you know what? People are proud of their state too. So if you need to go wider on getting information for your community, you know, do that. But I think coupled with, you know, if there's rodeos going on, get a table there, sponsor something, do that, you know, just do something outside the box.
And always have a call to action.
You got a lot of family there?
Yeah, a little bit. I have some here and then some towards like Oklahoma City and some in Florida.
Do you go to church?
Yes.
Have you hit your church up? Have you hit your church up yet?
Working on it. I mean, there's more than one agent in there.
Well, that's okay. Just get your presence in there. And, you know, I'll share this with you. I'm a Rotarian. Does everybody know what Rotary is?
Mhm.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm a Rotarian, and you know, any organization that you're a member of, man, you got to hit it. And I've been a member there 14 years, but I've been an agent. I've gotten business from it, but there's, you know, different, we're in a district and we have different Rotary, different, you know, Rotary districts. And we're just now starting to do a business. And I did this with our private school, because we had a lot of expensive people or a lot of wealthy people going there. I made a campaign of doing business with people from the school or doing business from the churches. Hey, you refer me somebody, I'm going to give 5% back to the church, or I'm going to give 5% back to Rotary. You refer me, and I mean, my God, you're doing great things. Rotary does amazing things all over the world. I've gone, you know, to different countries. We brought water, we brought electricity. It's amazing stuff. But if you've got a community, you're doing something in that, man, go right there. That's the nuclear source right there. And we're finally starting to have business meetings. When I say business, like business fairs, if you're a lawyer or something else, get in those in your community or in your church. Anybody that's a lawyer, just get in there. But that's a great source for you in the churches.
Stuff. Jacob, did you have a question?
Yeah, real quick, JD. I wanted to ask, like, I just moved into a new neighborhood, Old Town Arvada. It's pretty historic. It's like a lot of these World War II homes, like late 40s, early 50s. Would you, because I've been thinking about going and door knocking the whole neighborhood, especially it's a cool icebreaker, like just kind of moved in, want to like meet the neighbors and everything. Do you strongly recommend giving them something specific about the neighborhood, or more so just like quick introduction, business card, like, hey, happy to come by and do, evaluation, or, if you ever have any questions, just give me a call.
Yes, you can do a CMA. Do a CMA, one-page CMA for that property when you go. And if I don't know if you have any like pads or pens or whatever, but leave that something. But when I door knocking, to break down the scripts, to break it down, when you're door knocking somebody, they have no idea the door was going to knock. But the first thing I say is, "Hi, I'm John Duerler with Hancock Homes." Real quick. When you say real quick, two things. You've got 7 seconds. You've got 5 seconds to win them or lose them. So I suggest you do go door knock, but let's break it down by the seconds. I've done this, I've done thousands and thousands of doors. And that has worked so well for me because they're not expecting you. They're coming to the door and you've already told them, this is what I am here for. I'm only going to be real quick, and you lay it out. But know it, and then work with somebody before you do it, and know that, because you will get your script. All these scripts will just be in your head, and you'll just be able to do it without having to look at anything. But it's power. Knowledge is power. It's confidence. You're going there. Don't be meek. Don't be meek. Just say, hey, I was over here. We just picked up an escrow. We just sold the house, 4 streets over. I wanted to stop in, invite you guys over to my open house or something. Have something of value to bring to them, and be confident and say, do you have any questions about the real estate market right now? I pulled this comparable, or, Zillow or whatever. How much do you think your home is? Have these questions. But yeah, you can, they were built in the 40s. So, I mean, I'm not sure really what you can bring, but you live there. Just look at your community, look at what businesses are around there, and figure to do that. But go in there, even if you didn't sell the house. This is the other thing, because I'm coming up close. You look around. Hey, do you know anybody who's thinking about selling? Hey, you. Hey, I got a secret. When you come into somebody, you bring your voice down. They're like, oh yeah, Gus cheated on his wife, and he's dating some whore, and they're thinking about selling. When you do that and you come in like, hey, don't go that far, but hey, have you heard of anybody thinking about selling? Could you be an ambassador for me? Will you be my ambassador? Will you let me know? Here's my card. And if there's anything that, if you don't want to sell, great, but if you're thinking about it, let me know. But if you have anything and you want to talk about real estate, insurance, how it's crazy right now, call me. Let me know. Let me be, use me. And you would be amazed. You would be amazed. But it is a technique. And it's like winning an Oscar or it's a performance. It's a performance, but it's you, and be you. It doesn't matter. You're all unique. You're all unique, and they're going to want to work with you, or they're not going to want to work with you. But mastering that door and mastering the mirroring and letting them know when you go in there, they know what to expect. But then they'll start, and some like, oh, no, they start closing the door. Okay, or I ask them a question, because I love it. I love it because it's a challenge for me. It's a challenge if they open the little door, they open the window, And then they open the door. The next thing I'm in there drinking a drink with them on the couch, and they won't shut up. And I need to get going to the other door. So be careful what you wish for, but it doesn't matter. You're really establishing who you are to that person and to that family. And it's you know, I think I love doing it. I really do. But again, guys, it's like, oh, you know, I got to get out there, and you know, I'll make an excuse of not going and door knocking. But you know, another power is that, you know, I have a $4 million, $5 million buyer right now, guys. For the last year, look at this. Where is it? Last month, I knocked on 200 doors. And I highlight, I mean, I go old school. You can do it on your phone. They've got all those apps, but I write it all down. I like having this. But I knocked on 250 doors last month. Out of the 250, I talked to 30%. I talked to over 60 people. Out of the 60 people that I had my contact, 5 of them were considering selling, but not for another 2 years. And so I went and door knocked because my clients who are $4 to $5 million buyers, you know, and that's an opportunity to double pop it. So use whatever you have to get there to talk to them, and you know, you may be able to do, you know, a double pop and do that. But you know, I think the door knocking, I like it. You know, sometimes I won't do it for a whole month, but you know, other times, you know, I'm doing it 2 or 3 times a week. And so for what I'm doing right now in this challenging time is I'm back door knocking, I'm back to doing expireds, and then I'm doing my YouTube videos. I was just on with my coach before I got on this call, and you know, I'm doubling down on that pillar of YouTube. And I'm not sure if the young lady's still here from Oklahoma, but you know, do YouTube of your community, and talk about, you know, the comparables of living on this side of town versus the other side of town. And people will start seeing you. People will start seeing you there as the mayor, as the go-to person. But if you don't have anything going on, get to the expireds, or the FSBOs, and just help them out. Just say, hey, you know, FSBO, we're not going to hire. Okay, great, but you know what? Have you done this, this, and this? Oh no, we haven't. Well, here's a list. Do that. If you have any questions, call me. It's not going to sell, and then they're going to call you.
I love it. So leading with value, giving them something that they want, but then like as a secondary on your piece of value, your call to action, your PS. By the way, I know you may not be ready now, but when you are ready, here's 3 free services we offer you might want to take advantage of.
Yeah.
On price analysis, room by room review.
Yeah.
Investor, whatever.
I mean, guys, it does. It just, you know, because for the longest time I thought, oh, I'm wasting my time knocking on doors. They're not selling. They're not, but then some are considering. And then the more that you're doing this, you're picking up buyers at your open house. And then you can just put the pieces together and be the matchmaker. Be the matchmaker. Because if you're new at it, believe me, it all comes, it's such an incestuous business. It really is. And everyone knows what's going on, but it's just, you never know where your next deal is going to come from. You just don't. And, you know, I launched with me and this guy arguing, and now I've got, I mean, I've sold so much, and he's considering, he's got 3 lots. His house is worth maybe 12 million. And he called me, he goes, hey, I'm thinking about selling it. We want to maybe look at it off market. And then I showed it to Wonder Woman, the Godot or whoever played Wonder Woman. Anyway, I showed her that house. It's this business, and this is what I love. It is surprising. It surprises me every day. You learn something new every day, but you can be so successful. You will be successful if you just continue to do it. But don't get the big head. I kind of got the big head because I was, you know, doing so well. Well, guess what? It slapped me in the face and it says, you know, humble yourself, big boy. And I have, and I think it's a great, way to have a lot, do life and everything. And I've got my sons now. I got a 13 and 15-year-old. They're part of the community. They're volunteering with the Rotary. We have a pumpkin patch. We have we sell trees. I mean, to the neighborhood. So I think if be the mayor of it. They're like, oh, we see your signs everywhere. If you're having an open house, put as many signs out, because that's free advertising. And I have a service that does it, but I used to, and it's a lot of work. In the beginning, I wake up at 7 on a Sunday. I put the addresses on it, and then go out and put 24 or 36 signs out. And they're like, oh, man.
Would you do that in Beaumont, Texas? Hot and humid, sweating your butt off,
Yeah. Yeah, or have somebody do it. Have your son do it, or have a kid do it. They all got trucks, I would.
It's humid, right?
Yeah, be creative as you can.
I love it. This has been great, John. I really appreciate it, your time, man. And anybody else have any other questions? I had the script, which you covered, like when you door knock, what you say. I like the pattern interrupt, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm John Duerler. Real quick.
Yeah.
John Duerler, Hancock, real quick. 2 things.
Yeah, I think just do that, and then like real quick, I'm here. We just closed a home, or did you know your neighbor's house just sold? And I'm talking with buyers, and have you had any thoughts, or for the right price, would you sell your home? For the right price, would you sell your home? Boy, I love that line, because it's like, well, with the right price. Well, yeah, there's always a price, people. There's always a price. So you get that going, you get their name. Maybe they give you your phone number, say, hey, have you ever been to my, shred event or something? Have something of value to give them, to maybe get their phone number. You can always get it online or whatever, but it's nice for them. All right, here's my phone, but don't call me all the time, and don't email me all your BS. All right, not a problem. But, do that. And I challenge myself on that, because when I'm out door knocking, I try to average 40 a day. And what I'll do is I'll put the time that I go out, the time I started, and then I'll put, on this thing here, I have their name, but then I have if they're home or if I left a pamphlet. Always leave something. See, that's the other thing. 60% of the people or 70% of the people are not going to be home, and they're not going to answer the door. Don't waste your time and energy by not leaving something. You have to leave. And I've got here. I've got
like stick it in the crack of the door, or what? You tape it to the door?
No, I have this. See, I have these door hangers. So I have the door hanger with my handsome face on it, and I have it on both sides. But I wanted to show you, I don't know where they are now, but what I do is, if I've sold something, I tri-fold it, I staple it to it, so it hangs on their door, and then they can look at the property that I sold, or that if you don't have a property you sold, send them the comps in the neighborhood as a 1-pager, or send them the CMA, have the CMA, and put the CMA on there, and just, write, sorry, I missed you. And then, call them back. Because here's the other thing, I send letters out. Here's another thing to use when you go there. Hey, John Duerler, Hancock Homes, real quick, did you receive my letter? What, you wrote a letter? Yeah, I wrote a letter. I'm working with a great family that's looking to buy, and I just wanted to follow up on the letter that I wrote you. For the right price, would you guys consider selling? They want to be in this neighborhood. Well, not right now, but maybe for the right price. What are you thinking? What do you think my house is worth? Come on in. Come on in. There you go, man.
That's a good one yesterday, John. Danny, I think, was that you? Are you on, Danny? She said she had a script that she's been using for cold calling. Would you consider selling your house for a crazy offer?
Yeah.
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 Was that you, Danny?
Yeah, that's the line. I mixed it up. I A/B tested between a good offer and crazy offer, and got a little bit more interest from crazy offer, because they're not used to hearing that.
Well, crazy offer can be 200,000 less what it's worth.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A crazy offer, this is a crazy offer, but I love that. I love it. Just make it your own. that's the whole thing, man. We're all great. We're all great because we're here today, and this is what we're doing. And you're self-motivating people that are doing and getting things done. And so, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Create it, and the more you do it, then you can, create it differently. But it just, it'll take time. But you got to get out and do it. You got to get on the phones, and again, and this is what it took me forever to learn. I would go down a street and knock on their door, talk to the people but I never came back to follow up on the ones that weren't there. And they already have that, they already had this. So what I've incorporated into my door knock is just not the door knock, but it's the follow-up. Because I pull up all their phone numbers from title and I'm saying, hey, I was out by your house yesterday. Sorry I missed you, and then give them the spill. Real quick, my buyers are looking. Have you had any thoughts of selling? Would you sell for a crazy number like that? Or, for the right price, would you sell? So don't waste your energy, because there's so much more to do the follow-up with. I guess that's what I have gotten away with door knocking, what I've learned from door knocking.
John, when you have that sheet of paper with you, do you have everybody's name already written down, or do you write their name down once you talk to them?
I write their name down
before you.
Well, in the beginning, I thought it was a little creepy of me having their information already.
Right.
Some people, because there's a lot of people that are private here. It just depends your community, what kind of people you are selling with. A lot of people here are entitled. They're wealthy.
So you know their name before you knock on the door. You already know their names that live there.
Hopefully. No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I could, but I don't. It's just another step. It's more work for me to do. Now, there is Knockwise. That's an app. You can do Knockwise, or you can do your title, where you have all their information. And yeah, I probably should be transferring to my iPad and have it all on there, because I'll look smart and all that. And it'll all be on there. There's another one called Property Radar. I use Property Radar too, which I do like, because it tells me a lot if they're in foreclosure, if they've missed a payment. It has their phone numbers. It has all of that. I mean, there's so many of them, but
I want to make sure I understand.
I could use.
I want to make sure I understand. So on that sheet of paper you have that stapled together, you already have their information on there before you knock, or once you talk to them,
I'm not blank. Okay. I mean, it's blank. I don't have anything on there. What I do is I write their address, like Lucerne, 238 Lucerne. Well, I don't write Lucerne anymore. I just go down, because I'm going down the house. So I put all of their addresses there. Sorry. All their addresses, their names, if I talk to them, or if I left a pamphlet, and then if I got their email, or I got their phone number, or, hey, in a couple years we're selling because the kids are going off to college. Write that down, put it in your CRM, and remember that, because when you follow up, hey, did your kids go? Or, how are they? That they're like, wow, you remember? Yeah, I remember the conversation we had. It's crazy. It's crazy. But no, this is blank, and then I just write everything on it. And it's
then
kind
you can see how many conversations you had. Once you get then you can see how many conversations you had at the end of the day. So you get to your 40, right?
Guys, and I tell you what, man, if you're depressed, you feel down, you don't want to do anything, if you go and just door knock, man, the endorphins, the dopamine that I get from that is like, hey, I have accomplished something. Even though, guys, you didn't sell the house, or you didn't get the listing, you have accomplished so much by just getting out there, because I promise you, the universe is going to bring it back. It's going to bring it back. It may not bring it back that day. There has been days that I've listed the property from door knocking. I have done that. Very rare. It's always been on the comeback. It's the comeback. And so, I just like doing that. But, again, it's really what you're good at. What are you good at? What do you like to do? Do you not like the door knock? Make your phone calls if you're behind that, or I don't know. I want to text, but now, state of California, you can't text them. They can always, fine you or whatever. But, just find your niche. And I found mine. I found what I like to do. And,
have you done any have you done any voicemail drops, like slide broadcast?
Yeah, I have. I've done that. Nothing, but I've not been consistent on it. Like if I'm having an open house, I'll do the slide broadcast or do that. And I just think video. I think video is great. I wish I could send out video for text. I'm going to try to find a workaround on that because especially for expireds, I made the phone calls and it's you get phone numbers that are not right or whatever, but also go door knock them. Go door knock them and drop a pamphlet off. And my opening line is great houses. Sometimes great houses don't sell the first time. You got to repackage them and come back out there, but have a different perspective. And then I ask them, why do you think your home did not sell? Well, I don't know. Or, they never followed up with me or whatever. I'm like, oh, and again, when you're talking your scripts, they didn't, because that's the whole thing. They didn't get back to me. Oh, they didn't get back to you. Man, that's not good. So you've come to their side. You're now an ally with them. And so, you know what? I just saw, from your pictures, there were horrible pictures. And, the drive-by now, and back in the day, you used to drive by the house physically. Everyone's driving on this phone here. And the pictures have to be right. Because if they're not, and that's probably why, or, the house was priced too high. And you've learned from it. Don't make that mistake again. This is the way to strategize, and let's price this house right. But let's get rid of this. Guys, I had a house that was, Coldwell Banker had it on the market for 3 years. It never sold. It was an expired. I called the guy. He was on vacation, and he was on vacation in Israel. And he goes, I'm coming back next week. I go, let's talk. I want to meet, I live in the neighborhood. He goes, okay. And him and his wife came in. I sold their house in 56 days, but they had to have it, staged. And they finally did do that. So, again, first time you're listing, they don't sell. They just don't sell for whatever reason. And coming back with the expireds, it's such great opportunity. So go to my website. You can pull all that stuff up on my website, hancockhomes.com, if you want to kind of rip off and duplicate something like this for your area. Just
is it on there? We talked about a call to action. Do you want them to email you or something, and you can send it to them, or what would you like?
Oh, you mean, well, if you go to my website, you can go through them.
Download it. Okay.
Yeah, I think you can download it, but if not, take my phone number down. It's 213-924-2208. Text me because I don't look at all my emails. But if you need something, I'll be glad to share it with you guys. And then again, give me your name, give me your city where you are, because we have people leaving LA, and if I can send you referrals, I'll send you referrals. Or if you know people coming here, throw it my way. But go to my website, look at that, and then but these are all there, and you can definitely make it your own.
It's been great, John. Everybody, thank you very much. Right, this was awesome. It's been our best mastermind call. We had you, and then the other guy from my team earlier. I think that went really well too. It was awesome.
Well, thank you.
Good, guys. Well, go get them. Go do it. And then seriously, text me if you have any questions, or if you're up against, if you're going to go door knock, I don't really have my scripts are all in my head because I kind of created them on my own. But if you need anything, just reach out. Okay.
Appreciate you. Remember, John, for anybody going to LA area.
Yeah. Let me know. Take care.
Appreciate it, John.
Bye-bye.
Anything else, guys? That was great, right? Any thoughts or questions? Anything? Kind of went a good hour and a half here today, but it was cool.
That was great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will see you on our calls. Let me know if you need anything. See ya.